not marble nor the gilded monuments. Now this poem is written by the famous literature expert we all know, that is William Shakespeare. Now William Shakespeare is already a very much renowned name in English literature, so we shall just start with the poem itself. Not marble nor the gilded monuments. Marble was actually widely considered in which is basically used in making the statuary, that is it used to make we used to make this to make the statues of various famous personalities, right? In earlier times, marble was used to make the statues, to make the monuments for the tombs of the powerful and wealthy people only, because for the poor people they could not be afforded by the people of the ones who have been dead, right? So it was only done by the rich and the healthy people of the society. The more extravagant ones were the large enough to house the coffins of generations of the same family. So the more extravagant ones means the more expensive ones were those that were large enough to even have the coffins of the whole generations, right? So even the generations used to stay, that much of big it used to be made. Royal tombs would be richly ornate as those, for example, in Westminster Abbey. Now the rich ones used to have a very royal ornate also, all the decoration and stuff was used to be very rich in look. So gilded monuments here means the memorials in churches would often be decorated with gold leaf. So here we are talking about the statues that used to be made with the marbles. We have seen the monuments that are also made with marbles, and we are talking about these gilded monuments means the gilded monuments are those memorials that are made in churches. We all have seen those memorials were often decorated with gold leaf. So gilded monuments here means that. Of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme. Of princes here means that is the monuments will be outlived by the power of poetry. We know that the monument might, the person who has died might just stop over there, but here we know that the power of poetry is going to outlive that monument. With this poetry, we are always going to take that monument in our memories forever and forever. Maybe due to circumstances, the monument might not stay so long, but in poetry, it will always be living with us. Princes here means a word which is used to refer to all the royalty and the rulers, male and female. So powerful in the sense of being able to withstand time's destruction and perhaps to confer immortality. So of princes shall outlive this power rhyme means that we know the rulers or the royalty people used to live, they might just die because of the time, right? It is the need of the time that the one who is living has to die someday. That definitely happens. But with the help of the powerful poetry, we can always keep them immortal. Means we can keep them always alive with us. But you shall shine more bright in these contents. You shall shine more brightly in these verses means here but means in contrast to the things that we have listed earlier. In these contents, the contents of this verse. But see, we have just discussed about the ways in which the royalties are kept immortal. But you shall shine more bright in these contents. But now, the ones that are still now are going to shine more. How? Than swept stone besmear'd with sluttish time, than a neglected monument ravaged with time. Now you understand, the monuments that were used to be made by the marbles will be remembered for long than those monuments that are just neglected as the time goes. Definitely that happens. We talk about those monuments that are beautifully built and most of them are made by this marble only. So we talk about them. Unswept stone means a stone monument left uncared for. So here we are just comparing and we are just discussing the comparison between the marble monuments and the unswept stone monuments, like you can say the ones that are not cared about. So older monuments in churchyards gradually would be forgotten and fall to ruin as the lively memory of its builders and inhabitants died out. Now this happens with all of us. We go to various historical places, and we talk about, and we see, and we even get to know about so many stories about the rulers that used to be of that place, right? So even the rulers die, but their story and this monument will always keep them alive along with us. Sluttish here means of clean habits and behavior, that is lewd and whorish. So the adjective here, the sluttish adjective here, is applied to both males and females. It is descriptive of time's indifference to keeping the word orderly. Now we know that as the time goes, we cannot keep all the objects as it is along with us, right? So as the time passes by, there are many things that keeps on destroying or keeps on degrading one by one, right? So we are still here talking about the time that is sluttish. Sluttish means it cannot keep up all things along with it. Now next here is, when wasteful war shall statues overturn wasteful war and broils roots out of the work of mansory. Now here, when the destructive or the devastating war will destroy or uproot those statues, it happens when there is lots of destruction all around us. In that destruction, we see that those statues are uprooted or damaged or broken, right? So the war that devastates the whole city and even the country is turned over here as the wasteful war, right? And next, in the next stanza, we have the conflicts that destroy the masonry. Now masonry is your stonework that is done. Earlier, in the previous times or in the previous ages, everything was used to decorated with the stonework, right? So even the stonework gets damaged. So here broils is referred to as tumult, fighting and disturbances. So the disturbances, the fights that we have these days in the cities and places around are destroying these. The destruction caused by war was often made evident when conquered towns were razed to the ground by the soldiery. All buildings, that is all the masonry, would be flattened. This happens during any war, if there is any kind of a war or conflict among the city or between the cities. This happens when people used to win over another city, they used to just capture it, and in that capturation the whole city gets damaged, and in that damage, the most of the damage used to be of this masonry, that is the buildings. Now, nor mars his sword, nor wars, quick fire shall burn. Now that means neither Mars nor the resulting fire can or will destroy. Now we know that nor the Mars, we are talking about be it this or that, nothing can destroy this, right? That means the living record of your memory. So the living record here is the poetry. So the living record here, by this the poet means to say that whatever the monuments are made, if we can write a poetry about it, that will keep that monument alive for so long, even in those times, till the time the monument might have been destroyed or not in a good shape. Still, we can keep that monument alive in our memories in the form of a powerful poetry. So living record here means the memory of among those currently alive and the memory of you which continues after you are dead. So the written record of your life is still in the form of a poetry, and that remains with us all our life.